All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is admittedly awful, and we are back with another multiplayer game of Supreme Commander Forged Alliance with the Loud mod. Loud Project. Can't recommend enough. Here on the map, Armed and Dangerous got a 20 by 20, 2v4, 2 Loud AI over here on the north side of the map against 4 human players down here. Wasn't able to make this one myself, but fortunately was able to get the replay from the folks who did it. So over here in the bottom left, we got Ganik, he'll correct me I'm sure, in what looks like Seraphim with a very pretty aqua blue. In the center left is Dr. Sis going Cybran in all black, very fitting for the Cybran. In this wonderful, nice pastel orange is Frostberry, UEF, I believe that's how he rolled last time. And then over here on the right, Aeon, with a kind of lighter yellow, is a defenseless child. So that is our makeup of human players. On the north side, got one Cybran AI, pesky Cybran with their stealth, and then also a UEF as well, Stultman and Jackal. Look at the unit restrictions. So looks like they are doing a ground pound on this map. So they've got quite a few restrictions. No nukes, no T3 or 4 artilleries, no air. So it's all going to be ground based. Looking to get a, or shall we say, standard Loud multiplayer game for you guys to view in the next week here. And if you want to see something before then, check out some of the single player videos that I have uploaded. So you can see Loud in its full glory using its full suite of capabilities. If it's your first time here, just to give you a little rundown of the Loud mod, it essentially is a, you can call it a PvE mod, so basically focuses very heavily on changing the AI's behavior. If you've been away from Supreme Commander for a long time, Saurian was one of the big ones back in the day, and Loud and Sprout, the mod's creator, and his team kind of built upon that work to rework the AI from the ground up. So now, as you can see here, he pushes out scouts. If he had, well, he's got air scouts out, but you'll see those coming out shortly. He pushes out scouts, he gathers intel, he assesses the threats from the human players, and he reacts accordingly. He'll try and find gaps in your defenses. You know, he's got his full suite of, tactics and capabilities, including air and artillery and nukes and everything. He will find where you are weakest, and he will hit you and make you pay. But for today, it looks like he's just going to be on the ground, as well as our human players right here. And one of the things that Loud does is it's got a few of the kind of typical unit mods integrated. So it's got Black Ops, Total Mayhem, and a couple of the others I'm missing. But they've done a great job of integrating those units into the greater Loud experience and balancing them all between each other and internally within the mod. So what you end up with is actually a very balanced game in which there is no single superior unit. There's kind of units that are best for all occasions. And so given the large suite of units that are available to each faction, you can really be pretty tactical and have some like gameplay and find, especially if you're doing it on PvP, which is not as big and loud, but I can see that being very interesting given kind of the options that are available to you. So it looks like everyone is pushing out scouts. Here we've got, coming out from Ganik, the combat scouts for the Seraphim. Those are kind of a hybrid between light assault bots and scouts, so he can push forward if he wants and kind of push against some of these mass extractor points that Loud is setting up over here, kind of get them on the back foot a little bit. And on the right, looks like just a little bit of T1 coming out right there. Those are light assault walkers, so a little higher end than just your light assault bots. Nothing too exciting coming out yet from Dr. Sis and Frostberry in the center here. Although Frostberry has his commander all the way far forward and is already getting started with a bit of a static defensive position here on this little gap. And that's going to be kind of the key of this game here. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3 main and smaller land gaps, but Loud is going to have to try and push through. So it'll be very easy to set up strong defensive positions there, and especially with the land only forcing Loud to come through those gaps and attack you. Now there are these two kind of smaller lakes off to the side, so could be some amphibious unit action there. You can already see over here, Ganik is putting some combat scouts just to make sure there's nothing trying to sneak through those gaps. And trying to see if there's anything else interesting happening in the immediate offing. Already got some platoons coming out from Loud right here. You can see these driving forward. Got some strikers coming down from the UEF. I think this commander will be able to handle that, especially now that he's got a point defense up here already. Over here, no commander yet, just a few units guarding that. Surprised that these guys aren't trying to push through a little bit and just keep him on the back foot. If you saw our previous game on the Great Divide, we lost the first game. That wasn't in the recording. But the second game, we learned that you have to kind of push through and pressure the AI very early on to keep him on the back foot, keep him from scaling as aggressively as he can. Loud does a very good job of not just giving kind of linear bonuses to the AI as you increase the difficulty. And I don't even know exactly what they are, but Sprouto kind of filled me in a couple weeks ago, is that as you go up through the difficulty ranks and it starts at 1.0 and you can scale it, you literally do 1.01 if you want, just to kind of get that ultra tailored. But as you start going up, you start going up to like 1.15, 1.2, it changes, and it's not just like, oh, he just gets an X% bonus to resources, or he just, X% bonus to this. There's very small minor changes they've done that, like, it might be just like a 2% bonus to unit HP. Things that are small in nature, but on the course of a large game, actually have an exponential impact, and it doesn't just feel like he's just massively outproducing you, as you go from like 1.0 to 1.1. It's kind of it's gradual, but it's a noticeable difference, but it doesn't feel cheap or cheesy in the way that they've done it. So credit to the Loud team for getting that going. Looks like we're gonna have a small push here from Frostberry. Got a few units pushing up. Loud's already got some defenses back there, so unless they kind of hang a left here and it will sneak through, then it's not going to work that well. Commander here in the center, Frostberry, still holding things down. Got a couple PDs up, which is good because Loud is starting to build a significant amount of forces back here. On the left-hand side, Gannick got these combat scouts out in front, a few T1 units behind. Got his commander all the way forward now, so maybe start to see some defenses popping up over there. Where is the commander for... There he is right there. Dr. Sis still back in his base, as well as a defenseless child. Commander's still back in their base, so looks like probably going to build some static defenses up here. Got a minor push coming here through the center. Oh, minor, it's moderately sizable, but I think with the commander and 2 PDs, that should be able to hold that just fine. Seems like it's going that way for now. Not too sizable of a T1 force to break through there. Loud has completely already expanded through the backfield right here. You're getting some air scouts out here, and you'll see this throughout the course of the game. He is an expert at just keeping scout coverage all throughout your backfield. I could definitely learn a thing or two from how effective he is at just scouting and constantly scouting and knowing what's going on. Looks like a defenseless child is coming over here to assist with Frostberry and these T1s. Frostberry has a little bit of health, only about 1/5 though. And Loud looks like he's thinking better of it and pulling back. Another classic example of the superiority of Loud over the typical AI that you might find in some of these original games or even some of the modded versions is if Loud assesses that the balance of power is going against him, he is not just going to throw his units at you and lose them willy-nilly. He will pull back, gather more strength, and either try and find a way around that strong point or just build up sufficient force to be able to push through it. So credit to Sprouto and the Loud team for doing that. And then also at the same time, you don't see just, I remember from the original Supreme Commander, you just see like him building a steady stream of units and just throwing it forward and just throwing them one at a time. Here you can see right here, Loud will build these up into a formation, a combined arms formation. He'll bring artillery, he'll bring shields, and he'll attack you in force in a combined arms formation. And that makes it that much more difficult to deal with. And especially later game when he starts adding in experimentals, adding in long-range artillery, when he has his full suite of units that are not restricted, it can be pretty painful. In a single-player game right now, 40 by 40 by myself, and he's back there landing like 5 transports worth of troops behind my main base, finding that there's no defenses on that backside, and it can be a wild ride. So we'll try and get some of those full Loud replays up for you guys. And again, Frostberry doing work here in the center, holding things down. Looks like Defenseless Child has pushed back his forces to the right, which is a good thing because already got some T2 units coming through right here. Skyboxers, anti-air, and that's kind of, when you put a few restrictions on Loud, he doesn't quite fully grasp that there's not going to be a significant air threat. Now, this could be good for shooting down any air scouts that come from the other side, but going with T2 anti-air defenses out of the gate may not be the best use of mass for him. And looks like on this left side over here, nothing too hard being pressured. Oh, and we got Frostberry. I didn't see this right here. Frostberry managed to sneak through a T1 force and is taking down this T3 max extractor. That'll be a good kill if he can finish that off. Surprised Loud is not responding to that. Usually when you push him units from his back, he's got his scouts. Keep an eye on it right there. Through the center, I don't think this push is going to be able to make it quite yet. And Checking on this mass extractor over here, about halfway down on health. No units look like they're in the vicinity. Maybe some pushing back up here. I think he'll be able to get this down before those guys get taken out. Looks like he's pulled Loud has pulled all his units off of this right side, though he's pushing more platoon back there. Pushing some more units to the center right here. Still looks like mostly T1. Frostberry has got a shield upgrade done, which is good. He's down, about 1/5 health, something like that. Getting some more sizable defenses online back in the back. T2 defenses. That will prevent most of that T1 from getting through. A few T2 anti-air in there as well. And it looks like that T3 max extractor will go down. 2,000 health left. Nothing in the immediate vicinity. Engineer coming. That's not going to be super helpful. Nothing going on the left or the right lakes yet. And in the center here, yeah, just a bunch of T2 anti-air. Not super effective, but I think I saw him sneaking in some. Yeah, he's got some rhinos and stuff coming out. So Loud at the 16-minute mark is already got some T2 units on the way out. Nothing here on this eastern pass quite yet. It's got some units just kind of trolling around the backside there. And looks like Frostberry is pushing out to try and take on this T3 mass extractor. He's going up against some T2 units right now, and I don't think he will be able to win that fight. But a handful of T1 units were able to take out a T3 mass extractor, and so that is a solid win for sure. Last little M1 striker there, about to go down. And there it goes. Alright. Looks like there's not a super large push coming on just yet. We'll speed things up here, get to a little more action. A lot of land factories in the back here for Dr. Sis. He's pushing out some T2s of his own. He's got some hippos there. Trying to see if there's anything else in the back here. Looks like Gannick kind of brought everything forward. Factory's a little farther forward out of his main base. And over here on the right, Defenseless Child. He's got some stuff built up in his main base. That's B. And Frostberry, we already see, is building this very strong defensive line up here, which looks like they are about to make a slightly heavier push against. Got some T2 units mixed inside here. Got a few T2 defenses, most some T1 units, and then this commander here with his shield upgrade, so hopefully that will be able to hold. I think it will. Now, he does have some... That's a attack missile defense, not an attack missile launcher there. He does have some attack missile launchers. Does Frostberry have any... Does not have any attack missile defenses online yet. Mostly just... Is this one coming out? No, it's just another T2. So we will see how this push goes here. Kind of just building up, it looks like. A few units getting straying into range and kind of suffering for it, but definitely got some mongooses in there, so it looks like a little bit of a more sizable push. We'll see how this goes here. Those T2 defenses are going to make quick work of these T2 units, though. He needs to bring a little more range, because even those mongooses with, I think they have like 600 meter range, which is pretty sizable, it's just not going to be enough to deal with those T2 defenses. Nothing still here on the eastern pass. Slight buildup of units going. Looks like Defenseless Child has got some T2 units of his own. T2 mobile shield generators coming up. Nothing here in the eastern lake. Western lake, same thing. It's like more T2 units starting to push down for the AI, and they are starting to build up a force here, but not pushing quite aggressively quite yet. Definitely don't like the balance of power here. And it is kind of, I mean, you know, can't see it directly, but Loud's kind of going through his calculations, being like, well, I don't really want to attack right here into the teeth of these defenses, but given his limitations of not being able to airdrop over these mountains right here, bring in bombers, that type of stuff, he kind of just has to sit back and wait and build a sufficient force, which it looks like he's getting some T3s out here. And T3 anti-air is just kind of starting, which in a normal game would make sense. It's kind of hard to program Loud for every kind of iteration where there's some restrictions. And looks like Frostberry is going to push up his units here and kind of push back on this buildup of forces, see if he can strip them down a bit, which he is doing to excellent effect. Got some Tech 2 units of his own in there, and Loud is falling back. He does not like that. There are a lot of units back there, though, so Frostberry's got to make sure he does not overextend into that backfield. Pushing up a little bit farther there. Oh, and mobile stealth field system, T3 unit there. T2 units intermixed in here. And he's doing work. These are holding up all right. Starting to lose some of his T1 in this T2. This assault bot, which is kind of the high end of the T2 units, is Starting to take some damage, though, so he's got to be careful. A lot of units back there, and he is starting to take some fire. He should probably pull back at this point, but at the very least, it's keeping them back while he continues constructing his defenses over here. But wow, that is a lot of units that Loud is pushing out here at the 23-minute mark, and a lot of T3 units, it would appear. Mostly still a tanks, pillar, Tech 2 tank. Trying to see if there's any Tech 3 ground attack units in there. I don't see any quite yet, but I'm sure they will be there in the future. And on the left, Ganik is using this gap in the lines that Loud pulled some of his units over here to fight that to push forward and attack this T2 mass extractor. We'll see if he just... Oh, now a T3 mass extractor, so that'll be... So you can use these T1 units to take that out. That'll be a big win. And again, good use of the teamwork here between these two teams. Push up the center. Loud saw the threat, drew these units from over here on the side to kind of defend against it. And that allowed this gap to open up here for Ganik to push forward and take this mass extractor. We'll see if he actually pushes up and deals with the rest of it, or if he just falls back, or if they all die in a glorious fire, which would probably be a good trade. There's just a bunch of T1 units, and it looks like he's going to try and push up. Got some T2 Rhinos from Loud coming in behind him, and he's going to run into this other force right here. So that may be a short-lived push, because that is probably enough units to deal with him before he can take out this third mass extractor right there. Nothing still going on the eastern pass. Looks like Loud is focusing his forces here in the center, which this may be the long-awaited push that we were hoping for, but may not be with enough force because, again, it kind of seems like Loud pulled some of his units over here to deal with this push, and which is not dealt with quite as much speed as I would have imagined, but got another platoon coming down here. I think we'll get there before that is able to just fall. And we got the push coming here in the center. Mostly T2 units, looks like, for now. Still some T3 anti-air in there, but not going to be enough to really do too much. More stealth field system, not really going to help. Got some wall sections coming online to help provide some defense in case these shields go down. Shields are holding up just fine there. You see a little blue bar. That is not going to be a threat that damages Frostberry's defenses there in the middle. And impressively, this mass extractor is going to go down before these T2 units can arrive. Loud should have taken those and kind of remove them all together before moving out, but they're going to sneak past, and it almost appears as if they're going to try and sneak to this one. We'll see what happens here, if he actually reacts effectively this time, or if they are able to snake another T3 mass extractor. Large push still coming down here in the center. Still mostly T2, it appears, but yeah, no, T2. I'm still trying to look for some T3 ground attack units, and I do not see them, but a decent amount of Lobos in there. Got a little more range, but again, against these T2 point defenses, is not going to be sufficient, I don't think. They're putting a little bit of fire, but still not really pressuring those shields that much. Got some, yeah, still Tech 2 Gatling bots in there, but he's starting to get to the point where some of these direct fire units are actually getting kind of closer and able to put a little bit of fire onto these shields, but it just seems like there's a little too much defense built up there, especially with this back row of shield generators like that. It's like 4 of them. They're very difficult to push through it, but he is making a solid push here in the center. Looks like he has dealt with those T1 units from Ganik over there on the left-hand side. Units just kind of facing off across each other over here on this eastern pond and eastern pass. And it looks like the main action is down here in the center. Those shields are holding up just fine and dealing a large amount of damage from those static defenses against these units who are trying to make the push. So he actually turned off a couple of these shield generators because they were able to hold on just fine. So probably using some of that power to get this T3 power generator online. Got some T2 units over here providing some fire support for these units that are getting a little too close. Shield is getting a little low though. That is 30%, looks like right there. So he's got to hold on. Some T3 sniper bots over here from a defenseless child. That was a some good fire support to help things from getting too close. Shield is down to 10% though. That is concerning. Still a lot of units back there. Got some, oh, here we are, got some T3 land defense units online. And oh, it looks like the shield has gone down. We are starting to get some fire onto some of these defenses. He has turned back on one of these shields right here though, which is good. Allow this one to recharge. That one's going to come online, looks like pretty quick, and back online. And Loud looks like he may be thinking better of it, or he's going to keep the push, keep the pressure going. Does not appear to be super decisive at this moment. Nope, here he comes. Coming down with a little more pressure. Hippos are pushing up to engage. A little counterattack going on here from Frostberry. And those will not last long, but they will provide a little bit of respite for those static defenses as they suck in a lot of this range fire. You can see that right there. A lot of those hoplite rocket bots, maybe some Tricepticons somewhere in this mass of units right here. But those hippos are going down, but they did manage to push back against that loud push for a short minute. Especially against some of these T3 units that are starting to build up in here. That was going to be a difficult fight, but gives a bit of relief to these shields for the moment. Now they are still taking a fair amount of fire. You can hear on the sound effects, some of those tactical missile defenses are now engaging those T2 missiles. That will relieve some of the pressure. Though some of these are the Cybran tactical missiles, and so when they get hit with those tactical missile defenses, will actually split into 3. Now they'll lose a lot of their DPS, but there's still some defense getting through. And I believe some of those split missiles will still take some of the fire from the tactical missile defenses. So it's a great way of overwhelming the shields, and you can see it again right here. Dropping down pretty quickly with a lot of the fire that is coming in here. Yeah, those tactical missile defenses are maybe getting overwhelmed. Those shields are taking a lot of fire. Got 25%, and that one's back up to 50%. Looks like it's getting a little bit of an assist there on shield strength. Sniper bots are out here in the shield coverage, definitely putting some fire down, probably on some of those longer range artillery units. That is an excellent piece of teamwork right there. Still going on the left of the right passes. All the action is here in the center, so we'll zoom back in on that. And shields are holding up just fine. Well, this left shield is taking a bit of a pounding. This front one looks like Frostberry is assisting his commander getting that back online. Firepower feels like it's kind of lifting off a little bit. Shields are still taking pounding though. This one down to 40%. This one's still recharging slowly up to between 10 and 15%. And it looks like Loud is pulling back his forces somewhat. I figure out there's some longer range fire coming in right there. Shields are holding up still. This one's recharging, getting close to 20%. He has online this one over here just in case. T3 units pushing up here, though they are still taking some fire and deciding better of it to fall back. And looks like Loud is going to call that a day on that side, and he's going to test over here on the western pass. Got some defenses online. Looks like mostly shield generators for the moment. Mostly being defended by these units right here. Got some bricks already out here in the front. Trying to see Ginnick's using his commander as part of that defense force. Looks like mostly T2 units on their side. Got some more T3 units here in the back. It's not a super strong push. Honestly, if Loud had taken this force right here and instead of throwing it at this strong defense and pushed through this side over here, may have been a different outcome. Excuse me. Drink right here. And looks like this defense is going to hold just fine. He down about a quarter of his health, but not in too much danger, though he is dipping into the yellow. Oh, and we've got a Dervish that is kind of like the most advanced Tech 3 unit that can come out of the factory on the Cybran side. Taking down about a third health. Kind of like a 3.5 unit you can think of. Bridge between the lower end experimentals and some of the T3 units. It's like another push is underway here in the center, and again, be curious to see, and obviously Loud is constantly updating the maps, checking in on, or the Loud team is updating the maps, checking in on Loud's performance and adjusting. So interesting here just to kind of assess that. Didn't decide he wanted to come in on the side over here, though he's got some shields and a fair amount of units and some defenses coming up. This side over here, I would say, is comparatively weak, and so I am surprised that Loud is throwing all of his units into the teeth of these defenses right here. He's definitely got plenty of scout coverage over it, rather than swinging these units over here on the left westernmost side and trying to make a breakthrough right there. Shields are holding up still. Looks like some of these wall sections have been upgraded with some guns on top of them. I didn't even know that was a thing, but that is pretty cool actually. I don't know how strong those actually are. I have to look into that in my off time. Shields holding up just fine. Shields holding up just fine. Yep, looks like they are not able to break through though. He's getting a sizable amount of T3 units in there, that is for sure. Push over here on the left side was defeated. We are getting some out from Dr. Sis. We are getting some T3 advanced assault tanks, so those will help, and some heavy fire. What is coming up? He has put together some Tech 3 barrage artillery. So another addition. I don't know if that comes directly from the Loud team or from one of the sub-unit mods, but think of Tech 3 barrage artillery as kind of like a upgraded version of T2. So it doesn't have a lot of the range, but it's kind of got the same firepower as Tech 2 and is simply kind of a defensive Tech 3 artillery. But does have enough range to attack some of these units over here, so I think it's got to be worry about his commander right here. I wouldn't want to keep that quite in range of that Tech 3 barrage artillery right there. Especially with this push that's starting to come here through this western pass. Looks like center's still holding, and western pass, yep, push coming through. Anti-air tank, at least acting as a meat shield, even though it can't do much else besides that. And Dr. Sis, where did he go with those Tech 3 tanks? Do those fall back? No, I do not know where those are. But decent push coming right through here. Got 4 of the dervishes, and Yannick has got to be careful. That is a lot of firepower. Got trebuchet fire coming in, and now, oh, he is dropping very fast, very fast. He needs to withdraw, because that could be a very painful loss if they lose him here over on the left-hand side. He has dropped down to 1/3, maybe almost a quarter health. AI is still advancing. Those 4 T3.5 dervishes are still online. Gannick has managed to get back inside the safety of his shields, and so that will hopefully provide a bit of protection. And looks like they've got, got some T3 PD coming online here, and those guys are going to go down. That was a little too close for my comfort, but all's well that ends well. Got another little push coming here through the center. It's a very narrow gap, so it makes it kind of hard for Loud to maneuver his forces through here in the formations that he likes, and allows this stack defense to really do work. I don't know if that shield was down for a second, or if that was just Frostberry turning shields on and off to kind of manage his power. Another push coming over here on the left, so we'll kind of stay a little more zoomed out here. There's a lot of fire coming from these demolishers, and that is going to put a lot of pressure on the shield generators. Because I don't think he has any T2 artillery online yet that can kind of... Oh no, he does. He does have a little bit that can outrange some of those T3 artillery. Another sizable push. Looks like Loud heard me coming through here on the left-hand side. There's not a ton of defenses online here. He's super aggressive. He may be able to push through that. Looks like one of the shields over here went down. A lot of that combined fire is definitely hurting it. Got some heavy fire coming in over here. Are these shields holding up? Where are they? Find them. T2 shield generators holding up bar now. Stoutman has built an experimental, so here at the 40-minute marks, and Loud is getting some experimentals online. Center looks like it's holding. We'll zoom in a little closer here over on the left-hand side. Lot of tactical missile launchers, and I'm trying to see if he's got the point defenses that can, or tactical missile defenses to stop those. Does not appear that way. These shields are taking a beating. There's a lot of units pushing in. Mix of T2, T3. Shields are getting low. His commander is still pretty low on health, and this is in danger again. Oh man, he's got to be careful here. The shield's still holding up all right. He needs to at least move his commander in here into the shield and get a little extra safe. Oh, shield upgraded, or this one came back online and got him back in the shield bubble. That was... He's living life on the edge. Man of high risk tolerance. Looks like they're starting to push through some of this DPS, though some of that long-range DPS is going to keep fire on these shields. Oh, here comes a platoon from Dr. Sis to do a little counterattack. Center still holding just fine. Dr. Sis counterattacking here with a T3 platoon. That should be enough, I think, to deal with some of these long-range units. Jackal pushing out another experimental. We'll check what that is in a moment. Dr. Sis not getting too aggressive, and I don't blame him. Large platoon back here. You don't want to overextend, but he's got some nice shield generators there that will be able to help with that. I thought Dr. Sis got some UEF shields, but could just be a gift of an engineer that allowed him to build a UEF factory, get some shields online to work with those cyber units. And this little counterattack has forced Loud to withdraw. We'll see if he pushes through with that larger attack. Over here, another T3 attack coming through. A little more sizable. He's got some juggernauts online. Those are, again, kind of those more advanced 3.5 UEF versions of the units. Putting some pressure on these shields. First shield is down. Second shield getting repaired by Commander, but still taking a lot of fire. We'll see if they're able to break through and actually really apply some DPS. These sniper bots are very handy, able to attack some of those larger units, or farther back units, I should say. Push here on the left. Still got this jackhammer there, so you gotta be careful of that. That may be another reason not to have pushed up with this T3 units coming in range of that jackhammer. More defenses coming online here, though, so if Loud does not break through in the immediate offing, may be a little more difficult without some experimental action to assist. Dr. Sis pushing out, provide a little fire support. And it looks like it's going well for the moment. Shields seem to be holding along the back line here. He's got some more constructed Shields on this platoon went down though, and it looks like AI is switching its fire to kind of attack some of these T3 units. So he fell back just a little bit, but not too far to help maintain some fire support, losing some of those units. It's painful. Got some more of a push coming down here. Looks like Jackal's going to reinforce Stoltman, but losing a lot of units up front here though, so maybe too little too late. Center push looks like there was a little bit of a counterattack here from Defenseless Child, trying to push in some of those artillery units back. Always necessary, otherwise that volume of fire could start to weigh on those shields. Ah, and here's one of those experimentals. We got a Fat Boy out from Stoltman, Loud AI. That will cause a lot of pressure on these shields down here. Got 4 of those battleship cannons on there. Yep, that thing is awesome. One of those original units from the original game. It's like this push over here, some dervishes. Oh, and out from the human side, we got an Elias. That is coming from Defenseless Child. Little experimental, that's going to do some decent work right there, chewing through some of those units. Great job on that. Forcing those folks to fall back. And let's keep an eye on the center push right here, because that Fat Boy is going to bring the pain. Anything else exciting happening? Still nothing coming through on the left or right legs, and honestly on this western pass over here. I mean, defenses are coming online, but that was open for quite a long time. So here we go, Fat Boy pushing up. A lot of defenses down here, though. It's going to be, even if he pushes with all this, it's going to be a close call. What actually happens here? So see if that Fat Boy. There we go. Cannons on the Fat Boy. Now, one of the things with the Fat Boy is if you have it pointed directly forward, you're only going to get 2 of the cannons firing, so you actually want to, if you're using it, if possible, micro it so you have it at a canted angle, so actually 3 of the cannons will fire. But it is putting a lot of fire onto these shields. Looks like we have a counterattack coming here. Defenseless Child pushing his T3 platoon up. That is necessary because that Fat Boy is just going to sit back there and wail on these defenses. Looks like the Fat Boy shield is down, though, so a lot of fire coming back in to attack the Fat Boy. Probably some of that T2 artillery that is in those defenses. Down to about half health. Drawing some of the fire away from these shields, though, relieving some of the pressure on pulling it onto these T3 units. Fat Boy shield is back up, though. We will see how long that lasts, though. Still managing to get some shots through that shield, though. Oof. Down to 4,000. Pulling back the T3 platoon there. Oop, not mean to do that. Getting his experimental of his own. Fat Boy is very low on health, but the shield is up. We will see if it is able to survive. If it pulls back, gets repaired. These shields, that was a necessary push by these T3 units, because these shields are taking a pounding from that Fat Boy. His shields are almost back online, slowly repping back up. Still putting a lot of volume of fire onto these shields over there. One of those shields goes down. Shield on the left looking a little ragged. Center shield also looking a little ragged. They need to take this Fat Boy out because it is just putting a lot of pain. Yeah, front shield right there. Getting wrecked by the commander, feels like. Come back up quickly. The shield has been returned as well. T3s are pushing back up. Oh, and there it goes. Fat Boy is down. So relieve that pressure over there. There's a push on the left over here, but this defensive position is getting pretty solid, especially with this Elias out there. I think it had probably gotten down to about half health, but more than able to push against those defenses. And looks like Loud is going to fall back for the moment before making another attempt. Got a lot of T3 units here. A lot of fire coming out from this base right here. Alright, we got an Absolution Siege Tank, experimental online there, so that's going to be handy in putting some long-range fire out against his Loud's artillery. Tech 3 barrage artillery of the human's own over here. That will also provide some assistance. Another push coming here, another push coming here. Does not look like it'll be in enough force, though, especially he really needs more of those, either those Fat Boys or several Fat Boys, or maybe even there's a upgraded version of it. Again, don't know which unit mod it comes from, the Little Man, which kind of gets rid of the Fat Boys factory, and I think it's air staging, or just some additional firepower. Maybe some additional street level check too. Someone will have to check me on that. But these defenses are starting to get pretty solid. I do not think Loud will be able to push through them without some hefty experimental support, which it looks like he's slowly bringing. Got a Mad Bolo right there. What do we got down here? Another Mad Bolo. So Loud is starting to build up his own experimental force, and he will need it to push through some of these static defenses. Even this one over here. Oh, I was like, it's like there's no way Loud is pushing his commanders through. No, just trying to push some support commanders through. Interesting choice. He should be trying to push through some large formations of units through there, but Not at the current moment. Looks like he is focused on the center pass and this westernmost pass. No experimentals in there. Got a decent amount. I got some mobiles there. I'm trying to see if there's some 2-2 artillery in this. Can't quite tell yet. Got some sniper bots at the very least. So got some anti-ranged defenses of his own. Maybe even be some barrage artillery in there that I didn't see. And what do we got down? What's going on? What are you doing down here? Got Dr. Sis building a resource storage facility down here. Well, that makes it a good opportunity to talk about one of the things that is one of the submods integrated into the Greater Lab mod, which is called integrated storage. So in the original game, you'd build your mass extractors, you'd build your power plants, and you'd surround them with these little T1 mass and energy storages. You get adjacency bonuses from those, improve the capabilities of those extractors and power generators. We'd also get a little bit of extra mass storage. Well, what LOD has done is to kind of help with performance, but also reduce micro and just make the game feel a little better, is it has done integrated storage. So anytime you build a building, that building adds to your overall mass storage or energy storage. And I don't know the exact numbers, and I don't know if extractors and power plants add more or exactly how that works, but what it does is it means now you can actually build factories next to your mass extractors and get the adjacency bonuses from the mass extractors onto your factories instead of just trying to maximize resource production. So one of those things that just reduces a little bit of what I would think as unnecessary micro, but is definitely a game and gameplay enhancing action. But I believe there is actually a T3 though version of mass storage, which you may want to build. I'll be curious to see what comes of this and what the benefit is of building this. So we'll see how that goes as the game progresses. Push coming here in the center is just not substantial enough to do it. And oh, what do we got over here? Got a Mega Roach, few Mad Bolos, and a Mega Lith. So a little heftier of a experimental push about to come through. Another Megalith coming out of the back right there. We've got some Mega Roach in the back. So we will see if he gets very aggressive and tries to push through with those experimentals. Decent defenses here online though. Several T2 artillery. It's got T3 anti-armor point defenses coming online, T3 rocket systems. That is a sizable amount of defenses, so gonna be tough, but with that amount of experimentals, it can definitely bring the pain. Though the humans are building some experimentals of their own. We already saw got a King Crafter online. That will definitely help against top tier direct combat experimental from the Aeon coming from a defenseless child. That will absolutely help with defending against these experimentals over here. And it's got this very long-range missile barrage that will help with some of that standoff action. Alongside this Absolution tank right there. We've got those, see that cannon firing. Over here on the left, still got this Elias sitting back behind the shields, kind of regenerating, but helping prevent any actions coming from the center here. Looks like they're going to make a push with just some of those T3 units right there. The experimental platoon is still building up. Loud probably wants to get what he can consider a potential balance of forces that could break that defense line down there. Or he's doing the smart thing. Oh, what do you got over here? Yeah, see Megalith coming here on the right. He may be assessing that some of these, not going through the center, going through this left to right, may be a more effective way of kind of breaking this defensive line. And again, as I mentioned earlier, though, had he had the full suite of unit options, he would be doing airdrops through across these mountains right here. He would be, using artillery. He'd be using nukes to try and break it. I have learned the hard way that Loud is excellent at using tactical nuke deployment, of just deleting a large experimental or even just regular unit platoon with a well-placed nuke. Been on the receiving end of that way too many times. So I'm trying to replicate it, not with too much success, but hopefully we'll get a game where you can see that firsthand in all its glory. And he is trying to sneak this Megalith down here, though. So we have not seen much action on either of these legs. This Megalith is amphibious. We'll be able to break through, and there is not a lot defending right down here. So that, keep an eye on that, because that could be a very large threat here in the offing. Because what we got right here, Absolution coming down. This King Crafter's all the way over here. I don't think he's got anything really up here that can reach. So gonna have to keep an eye on this, because this Megalith, I think, will easily tear through that Absolution. Will definitely tear through these. And if he starts pushing back into this very undefended base, it could be a bad day for a defenseless child. He is quite defenseless on this right side over here. And Megalith is already pushing out right here, putting the pain on those units. Those cannons have a decent range. And those units are down very quickly. This side is wide open now. No units defending. Got a couple units coming right here, but those are not going to help. Looks like Absolution is coming. Oh, and Defenseless Child sees it. He is moving units to defend. King Crafter coming over. This other Absolution pulling from the middle. And with that, it looks like AI is going to decide that this is the time it wants to push in the middle by using this little feint attack over here. Or not even a feint attack. He's broken through. Megalith is pushing up. Surprising, he's pushing towards this defensive battery over here. Probably be a wiser choice of action to just push down and wreak havoc down here. Definitely think you would see a human player do that instead of just running towards the teeth of these defenses over here. Absolution falling back, King Crafter on the way, and yeah, T4 point defenses over here. This Mothra is going to make quick work of that Megalith. So, poor choice on Loud's part to just come into these defenses over here. I think if he had just kind of worked his way down here, these experimentals would have taken a minute to catch up, and it could have been a lot more painful for the human players. This push in the center, again, without experimental support is not going to end well. Looks like on the leftmost side, nothing coming through the lake or this pass over here. A little speed up here. It looks like Loud did notice, though, that there was a gap over here. Now, he's put a T3 platoon over here. Don't know if it'll be enough. He's got Mega Roach right there coming down, Mega Roach right there, another Megalith. That is probably sufficient to break through. I don't know through a King Raptor, we'll see. Definitely sufficient to break through this little platoon right here. Still pushing in the center. But I'm glad to see Loud is trying to find those gaps in the line, which, as you can see again here, look at all these air scouts. He's got so much coverage back here that he knows everything that is happening on the human side. But looks like this Megalith and Mega Roach are about to, well, they weren't really ever actually under the water, but they are coming through the water. But King Crafter is in defense, so I do not know if this will be as successful as it was previously. Actually, don't know the range differential between these. I think the King Crafter can hit that Mega Roach no problem. But Mega Roach opening fire, yeah, that was a siege mech right there. That's like that 3.5 unit for the Aeon, and it cannot stand up against these two guys. Oh, look at them come through there. That Mega Roach pushing forward. King Crafter is thinking better of it and starting to fall back. Oh, he might be in danger. I thought he actually might be able to hold this, being a top-tier Aeon unit, but he does not like the odds, and he is taking a lot of fire. Trying to shoot back. He's already down to half health. Oof. Dangerous Absolutions are trying to get up to support. What's going to happen here? Are they going to try and chase him down? Ooh. Again, maybe a tough call. You don't want to get too close to this defense line over here, but if you can bring that King Crafter down, that will be beneficial. Does have a sniper bot over here, though, to help. Another Mega Roach coming in and support. You don't want to get too close. Oh, but that King Crafter is almost down. Will he get it? No, he's switching fire to the Absolutions. Oh, and that King Crafter may sneak away. And now you got the Mothras in range. And that is going to be the end for that Mega Roach right there if he keeps advancing forward. That King Crafter, he was down, I think, to 4,000 at one point, so that was pretty close. Looks like this Mega Roach, nope, he's deciding he also wants to, oh, Absolution went down there. Second Absolution went down, so they did manage to take out two of those Absolutions, but they're going to lose that Megalith. This Mega Roach is going to go down, and this Mega Roach seems like he wants to follow in the footsteps, quite literally and figuratively, of those other two experimentals. Sniper bot over here. We'll see if he decides he wants to go that way instead. He is engaging the sniper bot, giving him a lot of fire. Ooh, that is painful. See if those Mothras take him down before he can. Oh no, he's switching on to the siege mech. He should have kept on that experimental. He probably could have taken it down. Taking down that mass extractor, but he is going to go down pretty quickly. Yeah, this could have been a much different game if those experimentals had decided to really aggressively push down here into the backfield. I don't know if I've actually seen Loud do that in any of my games where he gets super aggressive with his experimentals and trying to raid the backfield. Usually he does it with kind of more raiding parties, transports, dropping units in the back. But I also play at a lower difficulty because I'm not that great, so maybe that's something that you find on the higher end gameplay with Loud. So still building some units up here in the center. It looks like he hasn't done anything too aggressive in the interim, trying to push through here. I understand why. He's trying to push these flanks, see if he can get a little gap through there. Got an experimental sensor array online. Ballsy move to put it right there with this flank a little exposed, but he's making it happen. And looks like they're building up for a push here. Still no experimentals on the center push. Ooh, what do we got going on over here? Multiple megaliths all together right now. Oh, that was interesting. A few mad bulls over here on the left. Partial pause there. Pushing up here in the center. I don't think they're going to break through there. Very unlikely to happen. Is there anything else interesting happening on some other parts of the map? Getting some sniper bots out. You saw the sniper bot over here. Another one coming along lines. Those will help stop those experimental pushes because they can kind of sit back here behind those shields, and any experimental push through these small gaps will just take withering fire from those sniper bots. Yeah, again, in a different version of the game, they'd have to worry about loud strat bombing them, gunships coming in. You have to worry about air superiority. My air game is pretty terrible, I'm not going to lie. Basically, it's spam air superiority fighters once you get Tech 3 or Interceptors before that, or the Tech 2 version. Just try and keep Loud from giving me a hard day, because if you let him get control of the air, he will take advantage of it, and it is a world of hurt. That little Tech 3 push did not go well, but was to be expected. Speed up here and see if he can get anything else going. Experimental's just kind of holding on back here. Looks like he's going to have... what do we got here? Blood Asp. Mayhem. Alright. UEF Experimentals look like they're building up for a push down the center again. This UEF guy really likes to push the center. He's not really doing this kind of flanking action. The Cybern one actually was interesting. It marched all the way across the map to do this flanking action over here. Looks like that is just a T3 push for now, but right behind it is coming a wall of experimentals, including a Dragonite. That is the top-end UEF combat mech right there. Hanging out for now, though. Deciding better of it for the moment after that little push was pushed back. Yep, it's more of these interrogators getting up online over here. And trying to see if there's anything interesting happening in the backfield. Whatever happened over here. So we have this resource storage facility. Another one coming online. And building an experimental resource generator. So, take this moment to talk about those. You are all, if you're familiar with Supreme Commanders, familiar with the Paragon from the original game. That was one of the Aeon's experimentals. And essentially when it came online, it would give you infinite resources of whatever you were in short supply of. Now, it didn't generate the resources. It was more, it would generate sufficient for how much you were using. From my understanding, one of the things the Loud team learned was that the AI was not very good at understanding how that worked. So what they've done is they've kind of changed it, so it's now almost like an experimental mass fabricator and T4 power plant, where it will generate a set amount, and we'll see when it comes online, a set but a high amount of resources, and that allows the AI to use it much more effectively. He probably actually has a couple in his base. Yep, there's one right there. So yeah, you can see that right there, 210 mass, 1600 power. And that makes the AI much more, and this one over here in the cyber base, much more effectively able to use it in order to get things online. Because before he would build one, but didn't know how to use it effectively. He would just think he still had his kind of like normal mass extractor and mass fabricator mass and power coming in. So it looks like there is a sizable experimental push building up here in the center, both from the Cybern and the UEF Loud player, though a lot of fire coming in from long range. Basilisk in there as well. These things, heavy siege mech, yeah, they put those in siege mode. You can put a lot of firepower from a long range on some of these defenses. So, looks like the Cybern attack is underway. We'll see if the UEF joins him here on that. A lot of fire already inbound. That Basilisk is taking quite a beating from some of these long range. Yeah, a lot of T3 barrage artillery back here. Also got some blockhouses. These are, I believe, experimental fortifications up here in the front. Got those battleship guns on top. And yeah, you can't even fit. It's got so many experimentals they can't even fit through this narrow gap. Again, it'd be different to see, and I've experienced this myself. Even if you were to play with no air on a, oh my gosh, what's going on over here on the right? Sizable push here on the right as well. So he's got a multiple front attack going on. So we got a few experimentals coming over here on the right with some amphibious units. There are some defensive batteries online over here, so I don't know how well that's going to go. The center push also already losing a lot of experimentals. Does not look like that's going to go well, and this was a great idea. However, it looks like a defenseless child has already gotten a sizable defensive fire base online over here on the right, and that is just going to put the hurt on these experimentals and even some of these T3 units right there. That's not going to be sufficient to break through. In the center, they're pushing forward, but yeah, not putting enough. Got a King Crafter, probably that King Crafter from earlier, given how his health is not able to break through right there. This push over here on the right has fallen apart, not going to make it. And this push right here, yep, insufficient to break it through. So defenses are able to hold against some pretty substantial pushes from Loud. And so now the question is, if you are able to hold Loud, how are you going to push against him? Because Loud will build a very hefty defensive base of his own. You can see right here, lots of shield coverage. Pretty sure there are, let's see right here. Actually, it doesn't have, it's got a few defenses in here. I've seen some pretty hefty bases built by Loud that from a defensive, and he's got a square shield on over here, so We'll see if he gets a little more assertive on his defenses. Right now, he probably doesn't feel too threatened back here, so he's not putting mass towards static defenses. But if the humans start trying to push through, you might see him throw up some pretty heavy defensive zone. It'll almost kind of end up looking like this, and they can be very difficult to break. So we will keep an eye for that. Actually, it looks like right here, Frostberry's pushing a few units forward. Probably not the best idea against this mass of experimentals from both sides right here. Yeah, that is not going to go well. But a little probing push there just to kind of see what the lay of the land is on the other side. Not too much has actually happened through this eastern passive. I'm a little surprised by that. He keeps trying to push commanders through there, but not super useful if this defense... And he knows these are here, so poor choice on his part. It's like another experimental push to the center, but it does not appear to be that much more substantial. Oh, Monkey Lord in there too. Love that. Oh, Monkey Lords. That much more substantial than his previous one. It is already taking a ton of fire. He's got sniper bots back here, T3 artillery. That is not going to break through at all. And this UAF player has been, or not player, but UAF AI has been pretty slow. Got, what do we got there? Got the aforementioned little man that we talked about in there, but has not really pushed too hard. He's been kind of content to sit back here and slowly build up forces. The Cybran has been doing most of the work, it kind of feels like, on these pushes. So we will see what happens here, because that is a sizable experimental platoon he's got developed there. Maybe he's going to try and push through over here on the right side. He's just kind of feinting at the center one. We will see what happens. And things have quieted down for the moment. This would definitely be the part of the game with no restrictions where Loud would get, if he can't kind of push through, he'll start using some of the more interesting weapon systems. T3 artillery, use some nukes, you know, some of those kind of more esoteric weapons. Game enders, I believe is the correct term, Supreme Commander. But this is about when, yeah, he'd be like, okay, I'm getting frustrated that I can't break through this line. I'm going to bring out some different types of weapon systems to see if I can make it through. And again, there are counters for those, right? You got strategic missile defense. They've got enough shield coverage over here that probably is enough to withstand it. But it is definitely an interesting experience to play against. I suffer at the hands of Loud many times. Got up to like a 1.2 difficulty in my single-player games, and half the time I still lose. So if you want a difficult experience that, again, it just doesn't feel like he's just outproducing you, it just feels like he's actually outthinking and outsmarting you at times. So can't recommend the Loud mod enough. There is a link down in the description, so definitely click it. If you think that the humans will continue to hold off, then click that like button as well. So it looks like he has finally got this push on going here in the center, bringing his little man down, but they're kind of coming in like a column formation. Again, not the best way to push through, or not, I mean, he's kind of limited on it, but very difficult to push through this narrow aperture here with all these experimentals. They kind of have to, you see that right there, come around one at a time. That pathfinding gets a little messed up, and that volume of fire just allows them to be dealt with one at a time. It's like the humans got a square shield online here already as well, and that's just going to be one additional piece of defense that is going to prevent these guys from pushing through and causing too much hurt. And looks like, yep, that's there. Yeah, because the problem is he's got all these units back here. The Cybermen have maybe pushed simultaneously. It might have been a little riskier, but do not think they are going to be able to make it through on this one. Yeah, those defenses are pretty solid, if I do say so. Death field of experimentals up here. Not able to break through. They're trying, though. They're trying, getting in formation. And that's kind of the problem, right? They're trying to get in their formation, their line formation, but taking fire the entire time. And those are going down. Cybern's right behind him, but it looks almost like a weaker platoon than he had last time. Surprised these Basilisks aren't just kind of sitting back in their siege mode and just wailing on the shields from a distance. They're trying to push up, and I'm curious to see if we get any avalanches online as well. It's kind of the top-end cyber unit. But, oh, they are trying again, pushing through right here. Unfortunately, I think it's a slightly weaker platoon than it was previously. That Monkey Lord is not going to take that well. Yeah, multiple of them are going down already. This Basilisk over here taking a lot of fire. The Megaliths aren't even in range yet, and they are just losing health. Yep, that Basilisk is down already. The Metabolos, I don't even know if they're going to get a shot off. And they're all getting hung up on each other, and that is a bad day for that platoon. Oh, this Monkey Lord is actually managing a little farther forward. But, yeah, that Mothra is going to make him pay for that. Ouch. They just chunked with those Mothra shots. And he is down. This Megalith might get a shot off before he dies. Maybe, maybe. Oh, yep, there it goes. Finally got a shot off. But that is going to be it for those folks right there. Don't see anything else. Looks like it's going to be able to break through at this exact moment. Building up some more experimentals over here. Again, don't see any avalanches yet. Mega roaches. Let's have those basilisks. Oh, looks like there might be. Oh, got a few of these little men over here. Maybe attempting to make a push over here on the side, but a lot of defensive batteries are online. Sounds like someone is doing a ton of yard work outside. I hear that coming through on the mic. Much appreciated. Keep that lawn looking great. And looks like the UF player thought better of it and is pulling back. Cybern also building up some units here. What do we got coming out in the back? Some more Mad Bolos, Megaliths. Yeah, he needs to get going for those top tier units if he even has a hope of pushing through these defenses. Trying to see what we got building up down here. Got the Dr. Sis has got his experimental resource generator online. Looks like Frostberry is working on one as well. Oh, helping over here, getting another one online. So yeah, building those all along the path. Because one of the problems with those is if they explode, this is the same in the original as well as in the Loud mod, is they go up in a large nuclear fireball. So you can kind of keep those back out of your base so that they don't explode and destroy your entire base if they get targeted. That can be beneficial. Now, they also benefit here, though, again, from the fact that Loud cannot attack them with long-range artillery, nukes, or aircraft. So just building them along that back line is probably the savviest and safest move to do. So it looks like Loud is frustrated for the moment. Can't quite get through these defensive lines. He hasn't tried this left leg at all. It's kind of interesting. Tried this right one, but got this defense online there now. Sizable experimental platoon there. One building up over here. See if he builds anything else. He's building some more, actually, all the way up front here. And we got over here. Got some Athu Seals. Those are Seraphim. They're high. Not there. There might be a slightly higher one. I think it's the melee one. I haven't had a ton of success with it. I'm probably not using it right. But these tend to be kind of my go-to on my Seraphim game. Kind of the top-end combat experimentals. There's technically the Ythotha, I forget how you say that, as well. But the problem with that is you can't really form them in a line because when they die, they have that little electricity ball that attacks everything around it. So these are kind of like if you're going to build a line and just an assault force, kind of end up going with these Athu Seals here. See if there's anything else building up quite yet. No. Just checking on these bases, see if there's anything interesting. Got quite a large mass farm going here. Quantum Gateway over for Defenseless Child. Looks like mostly they're building these experimental resource generators in the back. So they can pump out experimentals of their own. Kind of the same thing here. Mass fabs, power plants. Dr. Sis has multiple quantum gateways, one of every type, which is pretty awesome. And T3 factories there. And it's a little bit of a mass farm coming online over here for Ganik. And might get another push here in the center. Again, don't know if it's going to be enough to break it. But if you can actually get around this wall, kind of do a little column left here and push down as a single line, might be a little more of a threat. Problem is it keeps getting this kind of thing where single unit at a time. Oh, you can see right here we got an Inquisitor out, which is able to do that teleporting artillery. Yep, dropping those from range, kind of softening these guys up from a long distance. Still trying to push commanders down over here. That's interesting for sure. Another experimental platoon over here. Don't know if those are going to be enough to break the center. And got a sniper bot pushing a little far forward, a little out of that shield. That's kind of dangerous. I don't know if you want to be that far forward. Yeah, he's taking a lot of fire. A lot of fire still going for the shields, but yeah, he's thinking better of it, backing up. And I cannot blame him. Experimentals are pushing up, and this is a much more... Oh, and the sniper bot is down. This is definitely a much more substantial push. I think he got to organize a little bit better. Don't know if they're able to make it through, though. We'll see. This is how the sniper bot should be back here. Oh, we got another sniper bot coming in here on the left-hand side. But a lot of those are going down. Yeah, once they get in range of those... Well, it's actually the Mafia cannons coming out of the King Crafter here. They take a lot of fire, though. The shields are taking a beating. Looks like some of them are starting to drop. But even if you get those shields down, you then have to get the next one down before the first one recharges, and the whole time you're taking fire and just losing sustained DPS. So looks like that push is going to be ended before it begins, but there's another one right behind it. And this one looks a bit more of this long-range firepower, and it may actually coordinate a little better with the Cybern Loud mod there as well. What we got going over here? Oh, are these guys going to try and make a push through this left pond? We'll keep an eye on that. And here they come with some of these longer ranged units. Ooh, it's going to be... Again, they're kind of more in a column than necessarily a line. Now, the UAF is in a line, but these guys behind them are in columns. Again, that Inquisitor putting some fire on those shields that they brought with them in the back. That guy's already down. Oh, no, still alive. Now he's down. There we go. But, yeah, those Little Men and Fat Boy are going to put some long-range fire pressure on the shields. Again, they got the square shield, though that will also help as a kind of last resort and let some of those forward shields charge back up. And that is a combined push coming through finally from the Cybern and the UAF Loud player. But again, those UAFs are going down very quickly. Now the fire is helpful, but the problem is these Cybern units are kind of getting trapped behind them and are not able to get their firepower out. And they may be thinking better. Nope. Reforming. Nope. Falling into a column. Yep. Yeah, again, it's very hard for them to kind of push through on the pathfinding through these units right here. This Inquisitor's got to watch out. Yeah, you don't want to be out there in front of the... You're very weak on health, and I don't know if you want to stand right there. And those units are going down pretty fast, but that may not be the best location. You do not have a lot of health. Square shield just went down, so it tells you that even with all these units dying very quickly, they are putting out a lot of DPS of their own onto this defensive fortification. Sniper bot there still, and yeah, again, be careful with these Inquisitors. You don't want them to get too far forward, because those are very weak. These Megaliths will make very short work of them. But for now, the Megaliths are concentrating on the shields, and that is to their detriment, because they probably could sneak some kills on those Inquisitors over there, if they were so inclined. And here we go, this push on the left hand over here. He's going to try the left-hand lake. We'll keep an eye on that. Push here in the center. Looks like it has gone kaput. And got some experimentals over here. What do we got in the defensive front? Got a blockhouse coming online. I don't know if it's because they see these guys coming. Let's check in. No, I can't see the video. Let's look again. I can't even do that. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. They can see these guys coming. So they were able to throw up some defensive fortifications right away. Mad Bolo a little too far out in front. And, yeah, he's going to take a lot of fire there. Able to get those defenses set up just in time. But Megalith is making a short... Oh, and we got a line of Athu Seals here also awaiting... Maybe they're going to do a kind of reverse push once this push is defeated here. But it looks like they're coming forward to help engage on their own. Oh, we're just sitting back. Getting fire from all the way from this fire base over here. Megaliths formed a firing line, and they are putting the pain down while the Monkey Lords and Mad Bolos approach. Now this is what you want to see from the Loud AI, right? He uses that max range on those Megaliths to just apply a lot of defense. And you can already see the shields falling right here. We'll see if this larger shield, dome shield that is a UF shield, goes down as well. But losing some of these units in front. Monkey Lord got the heavy microwave laser online, flying that DPS. But again, they're starting to lose a lot of these forward units, and eventually these Megaliths will start to go down. But the shield is down, and we will see if they're able to take out some of these defensive fortifications. Oh, yep, some of them are going down. That's a lot of firepower from Megaliths. The Athu Seals are going to push forward in a strong counterattack right here. Let that shield get back online, and that is what was necessary. Excellent. Got the Elias right here as well. And those Megaliths are going to go down. Well-timed push by those Athu Seals to take out those Megaliths, and we'll see if they decide they want to push north and do a push of their own. Over here in the center, yeah, that massive push died a horrible death, and he's got even more Megaliths going on. Again, I think if he was able to get this like set up well where he could push through, it might be a little more of a risk, but there's just so many defenses coming on. He's got so many sniper bots at this point. Got a little man of their own coming up from Frostberry to put some long-range firepower. I actually like how he's placed these Inquisitors. They're behind these cliffs, and so using that terrain to protect them from any direct fire attacks, but still be as far forward as possible. So credit to Defenseless Child for using that terrain to put up a defense. And as suspected, these Athu Seals, even though a couple of them are weak, yeah, those Mega Roaches put out a lot of fire. Not Mega Roaches, sorry. Megaliths put a lot of fire, are able to push forward, and we'll see if they just come here and maybe just raid some of these mass points. We'll see if they get a little more aggressive. Over here on the right, yeah, building up this experimental push again. Don't know if I see UAF's got... Oh yeah, he's going full range here on these multiple little men. Try and bring down these defenses from range. Again, understandable with what has been set up. Would be interesting to see him try against some of these more lightly defended. Because you saw over here, they were able to push this one down. Now, got a little bit of fire support from this base over here, so I don't know if you can actually really push through here all together, because yeah, you got some cliffs right there. But this one, maybe you could break through. We'll see. But yeah, getting a little difficult for him. Looks like he's going to make another push here in the center. Sniper bot a little far forward. Might want to start pulling that back before those Mega Roaches get in range, because they will bring the pain. Another Inquisitor coming up to station itself very safely behind this cliff wall right here. Out of range of those Mega Roaches. Even if it was in range, they won't be able to hit it. So a well-placed Inquisitor. And got the Athu Seals pushing up over here, so we'll keep an eye on that. Oh yeah, that Inquisitor's in trouble. Or not Inquisitor, excuse me, not Interrogator. Sniperbot should be back here in the shields with his friends, and down he goes. Obviously put some damage out, but was not enough to probably warrant being out there. He could have had a lot more DPS back here from the safety of the shields. Missile barrage is coming out. We'll see if these shields hold up. That's a lot of Mega Roaches, but there's also a lot of defenses. King Crafter from earlier is already healed up. A lot of veterancy on that boy. And yeah, they're just struggling to make it through this little gap here in formation. And it's great that the Loud uses formations, but it's just one of those times where you almost just want to push through here as quickly as possible. Maybe even use your Mega Roaches if you can get all the way forward or get some Monkey Lord spam, just stomp through the space and destroy it that way rather than trying to shoot through the shields. But a lot of firepower going out there, and yeah, see, they're trying to attack this Inquisitor over here, but its terrain is making that difficult. Just actually doing a good job of drawing fire. Oh no, don't move too far forward, you're gonna get in trouble there. Doing a good job of drawing fire that is not even being applied to over here, just getting wasted against that that edge. No, don't push forward. I guess he's in the shield still, but a little bit dangerous. I would have pushed him back that way, maybe. Oh, where are you going? No, don't stand there. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's not going to go well for him. The Inquisitor is going to go down. Yeah. Cannot stand up to that Megalith fire. And as suspected over here, Athu Seals pushing against these mass extractor units. We'll see if he commits some of these experimentals to come back and deal with that. That is going to be not be able to hold up. What we got over here? Mad Bolo. Single Mad Bolo will do it, and he's pulling back. Yep, not getting too aggressive, just kind of raiding the units over here. That push has failed. They're bringing forward some UEF units, but again, not with enough force to make a difference, and not all at once. Again, the problem with trying to funnel through this very narrow gap. Give Loud a little bit more of a gap to go through, and it will be a completely different experience. But they're still making an effort of it. As Inquisitors weakening up before they go. More Megaliths coming down. Again, Fat Boy. Oh, is that the same Fat Boy from earlier? No. I was like, he ended up dying, but that one, low health, the shield still ended up dying. Yep, getting these Inquisitors back in the shields as these guys push forward because they're about to get an angle on them. I would honestly push back this way because then you keep kiting around this edge right there. But those units are down. Oh, and these Athu Seals are pushing into this base over here, making a push. See how strong this defense is. Not strong enough, though, because they are starting to get through these shields. Yep, those shields are going down. Yeah, he did not have too many defenses back here. And I don't know if Loud was prepared for... They'll see if they don't destroy this, then he might get some more serious defense. He's got a Mega Roach here coming online, but... Oh! Excellent choice right there. So basically, who is this here? I think that's Dr. Sis. So as we talked earlier, that Paragon is basically a nuclear bomb sitting in the middle of the base. So what he did was he managed to push through just enough to be able to target that Paragon and cause a nuclear explosion. That was an excellent tactical piece of work right there by pushing in and dealing with that. Now he's going to fall back, kind of keep these guys on for as much as possible, but they are starting to get pretty low health. That Megalith will come back over here. He can definitely make some pretty short work of them because it looks like it's mostly just T2 trying to take down these active seals. But I mean, they're doing some work on it, but definitely go a lot faster if you were to use these Megaliths. That was very nicely done, taking out that secondary base for this guy over here. Large push coming here through the center yet again, but again, I don't think it is enough to break it. And frankly, Loud needs to respond to this breakthrough he's got over here, kind of shore up these defenses over here. And what do we got here? A couple little men out from Frostberry, putting the hurt on this fire base here. Think he managed to take out that barrage artillery, which is good, and taking out that fire base now. Too much fire coming through there to deal with that. This push is not going to make it. And these Athu Seals here in the back, still alive, still doing work. They have not suffered a counterattack yet from the Cybern player. I'm guessing he will start to get some of these experimentals online to deal with that in a coherent manner. But I guess he did lose one of them. 1 point. These guys are very weak. Oh, Brick coming online. Don't know if that'll be enough to deal with that. I don't know if we can get through the regen. Yeah. Push in the center is failing. And so this is kind of what we were talking about earlier. We're looking for the humans to start their push. And excellent flanking attack over here from Dr. Sis, Cybern, and then excellent targeting of that Paragon or experimental resource generator right there in the middle of that base to kind of get some extra DPS out and kind of take that thing down, especially all those shields. Looks like a counterattack coming down here against these little men. I don't know how far he wants to push forward so we need to take that down. Still pushing here in the center. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Again, you got multiple sniper bots online, these Inquisitors, and these defenses are going to be able to hold that just fine. No real push through this eastern pass yet. And Athu still running around in the backfield, causing all kinds of havoc, taking out mass extractors. The lone trebuchet trying to do some work there. You got this guy. And that is a sizable T3 platoon with some mega support. I would, or me, I might push it this way. And is Dr. Sis just going to pull these guys back and keep them safe in retreats? Or is he going to try and hold this position here? Engineer putting on some defenses, but not going to be enough to do basically anything there. Athu Seals are able to handle that, no problem. Push in the center here, still going nowhere. Don't know what. Oh, looks like these guys may have slipped this way. This firebase is still kind of all online for the moment. Smart call to pull these little men back just a little bit and avoid getting this rush by that T3 platoon right there. Support commander over here. Nope. I don't know who actually killed that, but lost one of those over here. So slowly getting it treated down with these Athu Seals, but they're still doing plenty of work back there. Still trying to push through in the center here with those experimentals, but does not look like it's going well. Little men over here on the left side, applying a lot of DPS against these shields. And Loud does a good job of building his own defensive placements right here. I got some Blink Hammers. Maybe a bit too much for this firebase, though. Yeah, just 2 shields may not be enough. Needs to get this Megalith in the game and engage some of these from range as well. And Athu Seals have cleared this base out pretty well, but looks like Loud is going to make a counter push. These guys are pretty weak. T3 platoon may be able to deal with them. Center push is going down. Another little man coming online for. We'll hopefully be able to break that and get it down. Oh, Dr. Sis has brought his ACU into this base, and very, very cheeky move. He's going to claim it for himself, at least for the moment. Or he might just teleport back out again. We'll see. Or he could actually. Does he have a teleport node down here? So I was say he could just teleport in a bunch of. You know, C1. I was say you could just end up teleporting in a bunch of units. Experimental gantry online. But we'll see what he ends up doing here. Yeah, well, gotta be careful though, because these Athu Seals are very low on health and may not be able to hold off this T3 platoon here. Doing a good job of kiting, falling back when possible. The Loyalists are pushing out there pretty fast. And they're holding together alright for now. Yep. Port command unit coming in. Does he have his own laser on there? It looks like. Or is he gonna. No, yeah. He's applying the laser over there. And managed to keep those Athu Seals alive against that rush there. 4 little men just kind of hanging out, taking a little bit of T2 artillery fire, but nothing too substantial. Center push has basically fallen. Loud is on the back foot here. Oh, what do we got going here? Got a Storm Strider and Athu Seal push, all from Dr. Sis. I think that's because he's managed to get gifted to him multiple different engineers, so he's able to get the full suite of experimental products. These Athu Seals holding over here. Dr. Sis is commander, hanging out, hasn't done too much quite yet. Let's see if anything happens there. This firebase is, looks like 4 little men might be too much for these shields to handle. Got that first shield down right there. This experimental push is going through this gap. Going to come up here and support these folks. And this is a breakthrough that they are going to struggle to contain. Nothing happening on the eastern side of the map for the moment. Little men, gotta be careful. Megaliths can bring the pain from range, especially if they got a little bit of shield action still going here. Yeah, this Megalith's pushing up. See how that goes. These guys are pushing up to secure this back base right there. Fire is inbound. That shield generator's down. This Megalith's not committing, but T3 units look like they're pushing forward, but bringing on another little man. Getting 5 of those all together right now. That is going to be a hefty volume of fire that comes out from those bad boys. This T3 platoon may get one of them, but it may not be enough. He needs to bring these Megaliths down. Do this as kind of like a fine arms attack here. And thinking better of it as all those cannons open up on that T3 platoon. Keeping an eye on this Dr. Sys experimental platoon in their back here. Loud still trying to push to the center here. Again, just not enough to make it happen, make it work. Part of the problem is it's too loud AI. Like the Cybern one knows there's a problem over here. This guy is still so focused on his primary objectives right here. Like all the stuff happening over here isn't quite as big a threat to him as these units down here near his name base. So one of the downsides, I think, potentially of the threat assessment. Gotta watch out for the little man right here. Shield is down, taking fire, falling back though. Very good. Yeah, use these guys to kite. You don't want to be engaging in a straight up brawl, especially if you were to bring these guys down, but doing the right thing, engaging from range. These guys aren't pursuing because they don't want to come in range of these guns down here. And Dr. Sys has secured this base back here, put on a perimeter monitoring system because Cybern are very tough to spot without Omni or direct line of sight, so good call there. He's got his platoon pushing farther north. Wide amount of scouts coming in here just to take a look at this base over here. Trying to figure out where I was going. Putting on some more defenses over here, though. Again, making that threat assessment, realizes that there is a risk here, and time to build up some static defenses of his own. Oh, and I missed this over here. King Crafter push coming from a defenseless child out of the easternmost lake, taking out this fire base right here. That should be more than enough to handle that. Yeah, Loud's got his own blockhouse, but that is way too much fire for even a T4 experimental defense to handle. And that fire base is going to go down. 6 little men here now in the center, still applying. They've not managed to get that shield down. Could just be from not targeting it directly, because they definitely managed to get the shield to go down, but they've not taken the actual generator out itself. But this amount of fire is getting very low on health. That probably will happen here in the very near future. Dr. Sys got an experimental platoon built up here in the back. We'll see what he does with that. King Crafter Assault over here on the right. UEF is recognizing that, oh, there's a threat here that is not in the center. I should go deal with that, pushing some units out here on the right-hand side. Little men have dealt with this fire base and are advancing, laying down just a terrific volume of fire against any units that stand in their way. This platoon skirting the top half of the map right here. He's trying to pull a loud move himself and sneak in through the back here potentially. Does have some experimental point defense online, a megalith right there, so we'll see. I mean, it's a lot of experimental units. We'll see how that goes. King Crafters were just basically doing a loop-de-loop here. Took out that center or that fire base right there and falling back to their own defenses. Little men are now taking fire from the megalith. Yeah, look at that. Megalith putting a lot of fire on that little man right there. Do not think you'll be able to withstand that. That's going to be too much for him. And again, I think if he brought these megaliths down here and just engaged these directly, it would have been a completely different situation. So you can see what just a single megalith was able to do. We got out of range just in time. Single megalith was able to drive 2 of these little men back. Got some satellite recon coverage here, and Dr. Sys is making his push in the back right here. Coming on that, see what is he trying to do here? Oh, he's going for the experimental resource generator again. Dr. Sys special right here, trying to attack that sneaky resource generator, cause that nuclear explosion to go. And there it is. Gonna take out a lot of these defenses, a lot of those power factories, or mass fabricators and power generators. King Crafters falling back here in the center, little men pushing back up again. But it appears, yeah, a lot of damage was done to the backside of that base right there. The shield generators went down, this one's still down. And square shield went back up. To make it a little bit tougher. Some of these guys are inside the square shield though, so that's not going to help. And they're still putting on a terrific amount of DPS, though losing some experimentals. But again, that was a decent amount of damage done to this base, and that he will probably not be able to recover from by the time the next push gets here. Looks like they got the square, no, not the square shield down. Trying to push up here. Yeah, taking out some more of these power things. See if we can power lock Loud, that'll always be fun. And the Cybran Loud player is in trouble. Little Men pushing back up. Oh, this was a mistake, pushing his experimentals to the center here. He should have brought them back to defend his base. Did get an avalanche out, but again, his big problem is this breakthrough over here does not need to be pushing through the center here. Might be some marking stuff that needs to be updated for Loud or some threat assessment, but yeah, he is taking a pounding here in the back. He's managing to get these down for now, but I have a feeling that, yes, there are going to be multiple additional ones coming in very soon, and he kind of just threw those experimentals way over here on the side. Little Man pushing back up, pushing a lot of fire there. That Avalanche, if he goes into siege mode, will be able to dish out some pain against these Little Men. King Crafters fell all the way back to their base over here. Don't see too much else happening at the exact moment yet, but humans have managed to. Oh yeah, look at this right here. This is what I was missing. Look at this Active Seal line and spam. They're gonna get here with. I don't think Loud's gonna be able to build his defenses back up by the time he gets another one of these pushes through. Little Men pushing up. Gotta watch out here though. Don't get too close to these megaliths or that avalanche. They will hurt you substantially. But this is a problem. Bringing a platoon here to kind of shore this up, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Putting out some vultures. And I've kind of noticed in my own games that Loud, when he starts getting pushed on pretty hard, losing like resources, he starts pushing out some lower end experimentals, which I don't know if that's the most effective, because usually it's because you're getting pushed on by higher end experimentals, but it's all he can feel, he feels he can build. Looks like another Atlas Seal push building here. Little Men just kind of providing some long-range fire support. King Crafters did not kind of capitalize on this push right here after they took out that fire base. They probably could have taken this base out over here. Probably not these by themselves, but that could have been very handy if they just kind of pushed up and dealt with that. Little Men just doing some work over here. Here comes another Atlas Seal push in the back. We're trying to recreate this experimental research generator. Don't think it'll explode full force unless it's built fully, but again, trying to keep him from getting access to those additional resources will be beneficial. And platoon sees it right here. See how this goes. Clearly they have been spotted by those blackbirds. Little Men still holding. King Crafter's not pushing up yet, so we'll keep an eye. We'll stick here for now. Active Seal push coming in. Front one taking a large volume of fire. They're paused outside the base. Oh, getting that shield generator down, good. Pushing in. Yeah, those lasers are going to do some work. Got a experimental point defense there. That's not going to be enough, though. These guys are too close with too much firepower. Could probably be a little more aggressive here if these of you wanted to. There it goes. Yeah, clearing some of these shield generators over here. Another experimental point defense. Some of these front ones are starting to take a fair amount of fire. I think he's just going to walk over some of these mass storages. It's the way to do it. Yeah, that's the way to take it down. Oh, still alive with 130 health. Oh, there it goes. And getting into the base here. See if he can. Did he already take out that square shield? He may have, actually. That's very good, because that will make any future assault that much easier. And he's right here in the center of the base, causing all kinds of havoc. Experimental resource generator coming online, about a third of the way done, but suffering with this internal push that's happening. Little Man, oh, it looks like may have missed it, but it may have been, yeah, avalanche. Yeah, that is painful. Look at that, just shonks those shields with those cannons. That avalanche is a beast, to be sure. Trying to use this terrain here, see if we can get around the edge of it. Maybe lure this avalanche in. Large explosion here in the center. I don't know what that was. Nuclear explosion of some sort. King Crafters have decided to push up on the right side again. Got a couple more than last time, it appears. Those are pushing in. Another platoon of Atlas Seals getting built up right there. Little Man falling back behind shield coverage right here. Avalanche is starting to take a fair amount of fire, though he did manage to get one last one there. Into that square shield, you can get behind these artillery defense shields right there, and these defenses will make short work of that avalanche. You got a little too close for comfort and survival. So we'll go down fairly shortly, and there he goes. Large explosion there. And over here we got Matthew Seals pushing again, another push coming. Got halfway on his experimental resource generator here, but he's having a hard time with this push. And what do we got going here? Matthew Seals also out from Yannick, building the platoon there. If they were to go all together, they might be able to take that base down for good. King Crafters have cleared this fire base that was trying to be put back up again. Looks like they're going to come and take out this collection of mass points over here. Another Athu Seal push from Dr. Sis in the north coming in. Just going to cause more pain. Just keeping that pressure on, which is good. Keeping this guy on the back foot. Avalanche of the Human Zone coming up from Frostberry. No more pushes coming through the center area, which is quite nice, but they got bigger fish firing in the back. And yeah, he's not going to let that experimental resource generator get online. That is a smart call. Still taking a lot of fire, though. They attacking that? Yeah, that's going down. No big explosion this time from... was not complete. King Crafters putting pain down over there. Avalanche is going to, yeah, work on some of those experimental point defenses. Every assault, this base just gets weaker and weaker, that is for sure. It does a good job of taking out a lot of these experimental point defenses, which just means that these experimentals are going to last a lot longer. And Yannick is coming in with the Athel Steel Rush of his own from the left-hand side. These ones are taking a bit of fire. Mostly still a good help, but starting to get much fewer of them. But with the support from this push over here, it's maybe all she wrote for this main base of Jackal, our Cybern AI loud player. Taking out this experimental point defense right here. We got 4 online in the center there from Dr. Sis, just causing all kinds of havoc. Yeah, this base is in trouble, that's for sure. He still has... he doesn't really have another base. I was going to say they had a forward base down here, but not really. And this Avalanche is pushing up, dealing with those experimentals. Little man right there. King Crafters have completely dealt with this base over here in the back. Great job to them. 1 Atlas still from Dr. Sis remaining, but however, he got all these ones from Granic still pushing in, causing all kinds of pain. He's got 1 little platoon of defense here, but it's not going to be enough. Don't think, after all the pressure that was applied. Avalanche is taking out these megaliths down here. Little man pushing up in support. King Crafters may gonna try to do the same thing to this experimental resource generator back here. We'll see. Keep an eye on that. Athasuls are trying to finish off this base over here, getting through some of the shield generators. Take that shield generator out. Yeah, there you go. Don't have to keep fighting through that. Avalanche is pushing up with little man support. Another Avalanche actually coming online as well. The King Crafter coming to join his friends up here. So it looks like Stoltman, our UEF player, is going to have to try to carry the game himself. Don't know how well that's going to go for him. And that's the deal of doing work. The last little remnants of the space taken care of. And looks like Dr. Sis has already got another platoon of his own online to come deal and support. And these ones may not even go down. Well, there's a few of them. May lose most of them, but probably will be all she wrote for that base right there. King Crafters are trying to do the sneaky through the back right there. King Crafter fighting a Rampage. I think I know who's going to win that one. Rampage is going down. These Avalanches are pushing up. Yeah, there's not going to be much that I'm going to be able to do there. And Jackal, Cybern AI is still trying to keep his base alive here, but I think with this next push from Dr. Sis, there's not much he's going to be able to do. That is just a bit... He's lost too many defenses, and that's just a bit too many experimentals coming in to push. T3 units are not going to be able to handle it. Lost most of his shields there as well. And we've got the King Crafters coming in here. Yep, trying to do this rear assault on this Apotheosis. That's going to be a painful explosion when it goes off. I don't think he built an Apotheosis down. Oh, he does have one down there. They do the same thing down there if they want to. That base over there is going down. King Crafters, yep, there they go. There it comes. A line of Athos Seals there. Not going to be able to withstand that. And there goes the shield. Here it comes.
going to be able to take that down very quickly with that amount of king crafters, and big boom to the backside of that base right there, opening up a giant hole for those king crafters to push through should they so desire. Avalanches are knocking on the front door of Staltman's forward base there. King crafters are mostly still, well, some of them are getting a little painful, but more than enough back there, and especially once you get these Atlas Seals pushing in here alongside it, don't think they're going to be able to withstand that. And he's already got a whole nother back of Atlas Seals online over there. Another avalanche coming, and it is just, I think the weight of production is just, oh, big explosion there. I don't know what that was. See what that was at some point. You can't build experimental resource generators that close together, so I don't know what specifically it was. I don't think it was a commander. Speaking of commanders, I kind of left Jackal out here by himself. He's kind of doing his own thing. Don't know where he's going. I think he's cloaked. Is he cloaked? Oh, hard to tell. But push coming in here now. We got King Crafters and Athos Seals, and that is just, I think, a little too much firepower for even this base to deal with all at once. Yeah, they are taking it on the chin. Square shield is down. Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to. Even if a lot of these units die, this base is going to be pretty kaput. What we got right here, some experimentals are going to come and deal with Jackal. Avalanches knocking on the front door still. This base down here. And this looks like a victory is close at hand. And I believe that was Jackal's commander going down. And they are actually, yep, Jackal is defeated. This base is pretty defeated. These avalanches are pushing in the front. Yep, that's gone, that's gone. And we will see another King Crapper coming up. These guys, I believe, what do we got here? Couple rampages, that's not going to do much. Yeah, these guys are just going to clear that up, push down from the north side. These shields are already taking a sustained beating from 4 avalanches. That is a large volume of fire. Not going to be able to stand up against that. Yeah, Athos Seals pushing in. Believe there is an experimental generator in there. There it is in the center. And taking it from all sides in this last base. I think it is safe to say we know what the result of this is going to be. Ooh, little lightning ball there. And they are pushing in. It's Athos Seals going after the experimental resource generator, and that is going to blow. And there it goes. Big boom. Where is Stutman's commander? Because that will be. Oh, there it is. Is that it? No, support command unit. No, I don't see it. Where is he? Hiding somewhere? Hiding over here? Nope. And he has been defeated. There it is. Took 2 hours and 16 minutes, but humans have managed to overcome the loud AI. Hope you guys all enjoyed this. Thank you for watching. Definitely going to try and get a, shall we say, more fulsome multiplayer game up, hopefully by this weekend, next week, so you can see how loud acts when he has access to the full suite of units. Appreciate you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next one.